right then. Howdy. I like that. Do it one more time. Howdy. Thank you. My name is Gary Peterson, and somehow I got sucked into being the master of ceremonies, so you have to put up with me. There's 12 pages of comments here, so relax, be easy. I welcome you to Atomic Frontier Day. Today we are commemorating the 75th anniversary of the Manhattan Project. We're honoring the dedication of the workers of the Hanford site and the sacrifices they made when they first arrived here in the Columbia Basin and their commitment to honor the call to serve our country. Even more, we are honoring the sense of community and the incredible quality of life that we enjoy today here in Richland, throughout our region. We would not be the community we are today without the Manhattan Project and the role that Hanford played and continues to play in our lives. Hopefully, most of you enjoyed the parade this morning. Hear it for the parade. And thank you for anyone who participated and those who watched. Our program begins with a stand-up, present arms by the Army recruiting officer, followed by Miss Tri-Cities, Mackenzie Kennedy, singing our national anthem. Would everybody please take off your hats. Stand for the presentation of the colors.
Stare at the flag. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you to the Army Recruiting Office and to Miss Tri-Cities, Mackenzie Kennedy. We have an exciting day planned for you today. And first, I would like to introduce His Honor, the Mayor of Richland, Bob Thompson, who will be reading and presenting a proclamation that he will hand to the City Manager, Cindy Rentz. Bob?
Thank you, my friend. First off, I want to welcome everybody to the best community in the state of Washington. And it's kind of fun. Oh, I'm not kidding. I get around a little bit. And people don't realize how good you actually have it when you have a town of dedicated citizens and community leaders who care and want to make this place a better place. And if you look at the changes since the last Frontier days to where we are today, I'm pretty sure the people, I know I have two people over here who probably were there, maybe three of them. And so, Mr. Keck, Mr. Christensen, Mr. Lemley, please come on out a little bit so we can show people who have actually been around that long where they probably were doing some stuff. That includes you, Phil. You're the old one. And so every now and then, as mayor of our band of city council members, I get to do some fun stuff every now and then. And things that, bring a certain amount of pride to me. I grew up about 3 blocks over there, and this was a great park back in the 50s. It's even a better park today. And you look at the changes that the city of Richland has gone through, and now we have the opportunity to thank those who set the framework, frankly, for the community that we have grown to be. And sometimes I think we lose sight of how important that framework is to success. And so this is yet another example of Richland having a great opportunity that wouldn't have been possible without our forefathers, for lack of a better way of saying it, of getting us here. So truly it's my pleasure to be here and address you. I get the honor of addressing this proclamation, and then I get to hand it to the city manager, Cindy. Whereas the first Atomic Frontier Days occurred in Richland, Washington on September 4th through 6th, 1948. And whereas until 1961, Atomic Frontier Days was held at Riverside Park in Richland. And whereas in commemoration of the 75th anniversary of the Manhattan Project, the city of Richland and its community partners are recreating an Atomic Frontier Day event reminiscent of yesteryear. And whereas the Atomic Frontier Days event celebrates the years of dedication given by Hanford site employees as they laid the foundation of progress and growth in our community and the efforts of so many to faithfully establish our fortunate quality of life. And whereas the memories of the Atomic Front Days that have occurred in this same location bring a sense of joy and fond nostalgia as we reflect on our impressive history. As a community, we look to the exciting future of our region with new opportunities and continued diversity of industry and commerce. Now, therefore, I, Robert J. Thompson, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Richland, Washington, do hereby proclaim that on this day, September 14th, 2019, we honor our past by renaming for one day only Howard Amon Park to Riverside Park in commemoration of Richland's very first Atomic Frontier Days. In witness whereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause to be affixed here to the official seal of the city of Richland, Washington, till the 14th day of September 14th, 2019. I'm going to hand this to Cindy, but everybody give yourselves a round of applause because it's good to be here.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So please help me acknowledge some of the following individuals who are also elected leaders in attendance today. First, we have Richland City Council members, Mayor Pro Tem Terry Christensen, Council Member Phil Lemley, Port of Benton Commissioner Roy Keck, and I think we have Representative Matt Benke and Brad Clippert. Let's give a hand to our elected officials, local elected officials. This event was planned to celebrate our community and the impact of dedication of Hanford workers. Did you know that Atomic Frontier Days began as Richland Days and occurred in the summers of 1946 and 1947? Richland Days then became Atomic Frontier Days beginning in 1948. Atomic Frontier Days continued annually through 1961 when it merged with the Water Follies after 1961. Several organizations pulled together to make today happen. We could not do it alone. I'd like to recognize all of our sponsors who made this happen, but I'll start with our premier sponsor, Leidos. Representing Leidos today is Chief Operations Officer of Hanford Contractor Mission Support Alliance, Amy Baucher. A graduate of Gonzaga University, Amy has more than 27 years of knowledge and experience at Hanford. Amy is actively involved in the community and on the board of the Tri-City Regional Chamber of Commerce and currently serves as the chair of our local Junior Achievement Board of Directors. She's been a classroom volunteer for more than 20 years. Amy?
Thank you. Good afternoon. So I'd like to say how proud Leidos is to be able to sponsor such an event like this today. And for those that don't know much about Leidos, I'm just going to give you a little bit of history. So Leidos does support to defense, the Department of Defense, civil and health markets, and of course the Department of Energy. They have over 33,000 employees in over 30 countries. And one of their core values is, of course, giving back to the communities in which we serve and which we live. So again, we're thrilled to be here. As was said, I've been out at the Hanford site for over 27 years. So I'm thrilled to be one of the many workers who has passed through the doors of Hanford, from those who helped us win World War II to those that maintained facilities and operated them through the end of the Cold War, and now those who face the challenging mission of environmental cleanup. So again, welcome to the event and enjoy your day. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy, and thank you, Leidos. I'd like to recognize all of our other sponsors who help provide everything today that you're going to experience, starting with Permafix Northwest, our village sponsor, which helped provide our mess hall dinners. Jacobs, our Dupus Boomer sponsor, providing our swing band later this evening. Adam File, Dave's Pay sponsor, providing fuel for our flyover, and it's not cheap. Porta Benton, also a Dave's Pay sponsor, whose contribution also helped make our flyover possible. Framatome, our Sage Sentinel sponsor, whose contribution helped us produce the amazing commemorative programs, which I hope you've picked up a copy of. Bechtel, our Alphabet Home sponsor, responsible for our souvenir security badges. Battelle, our STEM and technology sponsor, providing activities for kids and families. Our Columbia sponsor, whose contributions help provide additional activities you all enjoy today, Cadillac, Friends of the Richland Library, and RDO equipment. Several of these are also exhibitors over under the little tents on the parkade. Okay, so here's what you can expect from today. If you haven't already done it, pick up a program located at the information booth right over there on Lee Boulevard. These programs, as I said, came from Framatome. The program will provide additional information on exhibits and a map of the park and the community center, and the program provides a schedule of events. At any time you have questions or need assistance, please see one of our volunteers in these bright red shirts. And let me tell you, these people have been working for weeks on this. Let's stop a moment and give them a hand. Today, we invite all of you to have a glimpse of what life was like for the civilians and workers who first came to Hanford Construction Camp. Most individuals traveled to our region would have arrived by train and disembarked at Pasco train station. They would have visited many offices in their journey to receive the individual assignments and ultimate security clearance onto the site. You will be able to experience that today by getting a badge. Check in at the first booth, hosted by the Manhattan Project National Historical Park. Receive your personal security badge. That badge and visits to the exhibitors where you will receive stamps for housing assignments, medical clearance, and so on. And once you have completed the badge and received the necessary stamps, you will make your way to the community center where you'll obtain your own photo and ultimately a top secret clearance. These badges and lanyards are commemorative and yours to keep and experience after today. Also, both the Wanapum Native American Discovery Unit bus and the historic Hanford bus are here and open for you to visit. The old Hanford bus was brought to you by the Reach Interpretive Center with special thanks to Apollo Sheet Metal for getting it up and operating. I know personally that they had trouble with one of the tires, and the tire is so old it needs a tube. That was before tubeless tires, and they had difficulty doing that, but they did it. It's over there. In addition to visiting our exhibitors, today is about telling stories, and we want to hear yours. We invite you to participate by sharing your oral history, your stories and experiences of life, working on the Hanford site, and living in the Tri-Cities during the Manhattan Project era. Please reference your map in the program and visit the Remembrance Room, our oral history display in the community center. While most of the activities today are free, we're excited to offer a mess hall dinner The dinners are ticketed and those are available for $7. They'll be served right here in the mess hall tent, big tent right there, and with 2 dinner shifts, one at 4:30 and one at 6 p.m. Please be sure to purchase your tickets in the community center and after 3:30 from the table in the mess hall entrance. Thanks to our generous sponsor, Permafix Northwest, and Country Gentleman Public House and Catering, you can experience an authentic mess hall dinner complete with meatloaf, mashed potatoes, salad, drinks, and a slice of icebox cake. There's also beer and wine, if you're so interested, hosted by Tri-Cities Sunrise Rotary, with drinks available for purchase to enjoy all day. In addition to the mess hall, we have an other food vendor with items for purchase such as a Spam sandwich. If you've not had a Spam sandwich, you got to try it. Also, look at your maps in your program for more information. We encourage families to enjoy the children's area. We will have Framatome, Three Rivers Science, Battelle STEM Club, National Park Service, Richland Parks and Recreation hosting lots of fun activities for kids. I think that does it for the housekeeping items, and I only got 8 pages to go. Hang on. Before we continue with the festivities, I'd like to personally take you back to 1942, the formation of the Hanford Project. In the summer of '42, there were 3 small towns here, Hanford, White Bluffs, and Richland. The total population of the 3 towns and the surrounding agricultural property was less than 2,000 people. August 13th, 1942, the Manhattan Project was started. August 14th, 1945, the war was done. 3 years and 1 day. 3 years and 1 day. In between those 2 dates, our world changed. By April 1943, all residents of Hanford had been moved or were being moved off their property. During the construction period, which lasted about 700 days, Hanford changed from a sun-baked agricultural area to a rip-snorting, hell-raising construction camp of some 50,000 individuals who came from 47 states, Alaska, and Canada. Remember, Alaska wasn't a state at that time. And they came from several foreign countries. In total, thanks to things like the termination winds, there were more than 137,000 individuals who were hired during the first couple years of the Hanford Project construction period. Please realize the construction workers who arrived first had to build a town to house 50,000 people so they could live and work and build the rest of the site. A town to wash, feed, clothe, and entertain some 50,000 workers. These were individuals who didn't have computers. As a matter of fact, there were only a few telephones fixed to a wall in the whole site. And I'm told that the manager of the site had to go by a single-engine airplane from point to point in order to transmit messages from one place to another. That was Colonel Matthias. They never worked together before, and they had to build something that nobody knew what they were building except a small handful of people out of the 50,000. It's an amazing story, but fortunately for us here today, a small number of these individuals with their families decided to stay after the Hanford camp construction period as they moved to construct Alphabet Homes in Richland. We all know the stories of Enrico Fermi, Leona Libby, Colonel Matthias, General Groves, but let me just tell you, it was the C.J. Mitchells, the Browns, the Toners, Osborns, Kirks, McPeaks, and many others whose family came here in the 40s, and they stayed. And they stayed to build the community that we know today, a community that is rich in its development of science and technology, a community that can be proud of leading the world into the atomic age. With so many medical miracles that use radioisotopes on a daily basis. It is these individuals and families that we want to recognize today. So let me start by asking, if you worked at Hanford or your family worked at Hanford in the 40s and 50s, please stand up. Please stand up. How about special recognition for one group of individuals that I'm personally connected to, Columbia High School class of 1961. These were the kids born in 43, typically who showed up between 43 and 45, and they are the first graduating class to have stayed continuously. We'll start with Larry Christensen right over here, but class of 61, everybody stand up. Back there in the back, I know they're here. Okay, how about those who arrived in the 60s and 70s? Please stand up. Thank you. Those who arrived in the 80s and 90s, please stand up. And then on all the Johnny-come-latelys, I guess I'm one of those, 2000 and this way, 2000 to 2019. Please stand up. Next, who among you currently works at Hanford? And that includes the Pacific Northwest National Laboratory. Anybody who works at Hanford, stand up. And the laboratory. Thank you. Thank you for being here today and your commitment to our community and the contribution to our quality of life. Now, for a change, I'd also like to ask any children under the age of 18 to please stand. Any children under the age of 18. Let me just say, as we applaud these, this is our future. These are the people who will lead our community in the future. We challenge them to continue to remember the legacy of the Manhattan Project and the Manhattan Project National Historical Park. It helps us to remember and share with current and future generations what these workers went through. We are excited to see what the future holds for our region and the industry and the diversity that has evolved since Hanford was established 75 years ago. I'm going to stop for a minute too and say, I want to thank the people in the red shirts for this amazing day. All week it said it was going to blow, and it was going to be cloudy, but I see the fans going, I'm sweating, so it's a pretty day. Okay, with this, I'm going to stop for a minute, digress from the script, and say I'd like to invite the members of the day's pay to come to the stand. We're a little ahead of schedule, would you believe that? So the easy way to do this is come right up here and introduce you and introduce your connection to the day's pay.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Robin Deutsch. This is my brother, Jay Deutsch. We came all the way from New York to be a part of this wonderful event. We're so thrilled and happy to be here. Our dad, Lieutenant Seymour Red Deutsch, was the navigator of Day's Pay. And we just want to thank all of you for building, buying such a wonderful, wonderful, lucky plane that our families got to fly on, and because of them, because of all of you, they came home. So I don't think they would have considered themselves heroes, but I think today I consider all of you heroes. So thank you so much.
Hello, I'm Wyatt Weiniger. My dad was the pilot of Day's Pay. One thing I would like to say right now in what regards to what the mayor said. I've been through Washington State a couple times, and the Tri-City area has been by far and above any place I've been as far as being friendly and embracing us, not necessarily because we were sons and daughters of crew members, but because you guys are genuinely great people. And thanks, Hanford, for paying for a plane that brought our parents home safely. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Jake Apple, my grandfather was Charles Archie Purcell, was the ball turret gunner in the day's pay, and he came out here in, I think it was 1993, when the Richland High School commemorated the mural, and then I believe it was changed their name to the Bombers, and was just super excited to see all of the community support for the day's pay and for the project, and everybody coming together. And I think they did a total of 37 missions, which is absolutely astounding when you look at the statistics of the average life crew of a bomber crew in the 8th Air Force over Germany. I think it was 4 or 5 missions. So, whatever luck you guys put into the plane was really appreciated, because that's why I'm here. So thank you so much. I'm living in Seattle now, so not too far away.
Western Kansas.
Western Kansas.
Hi, my name's Andy Cohen. My dad was the radio operator, Alan Cohen, on Days Pay. And I can't say enough about how you guys embrace this and embrace what happened, how you guys changed the world. And my dad was out here in '93 also, when you painted the mural on the high school. And I think Dad did the coin toss at the football game, and it meant so much to him. It meant the absolute world to him. Thank you so much, Hanford.
Now these members are going to be here after we have a flyover. Let me suggest we're a little ahead of schedule, but we are going to ask people to move towards the river, because there is going to be a flyover. And it actually starts when this crew up here gives the signal over this microphone for them to start this way. Okay, so if you would, stand up and kind of move towards the river so you can see the flight. They're going to come by twice, my understanding. So if you want a good view, take a look.